The evolution of capitalism, from early roots to the modern global economy. Capitalism, as a driving force of the modern global economy, has a rich and multifaceted history. This economic system, characterized by private ownership of the means of production and the pursuit of profit, has undergone significant transformations from its early roots to its current global dominance. Understanding the evolution of capitalism requires a journey through various historical epochs, exploring the socio-economic, political, and technological changes that have shaped its development. Early roots: mercantilism and proto-capitalism. The foundations of capitalism can be traced back to the decline of feudalism in Europe. During the late Middle Ages, the feudal system, with its rigid class structure and subsistence economy, began to wane. Several factors contributed to this decline, including the Black Death, which decimated the population and disrupted the feudal labor system, and the rise of trade and commerce. Mercantilism. From the 16th to the 18th century, the economic system known as mercantilism dominated Europe. Mercantilism emphasized the accumulation of wealth, primarily gold and silver, through a positive balance of trade. European nations sought to export more than they imported, leading to the establishment of colonies and the exploitation of their resources. Governments played a central role in regulating the economy, imposing tariffs and monopolies to protect domestic industries. One significant aspect of mercantilism was the chartered companies, such as the British East India Company and the Dutch East India Company. These companies, granted monopolistic trading rights by their governments, were early embodiments of capitalist enterprise. They played a crucial role in expanding global trade networks and accumulating capital. Proto-Capitalism. As trade expanded, a new class of wealthy merchants and financiers emerged. These proto-capitalists invested in ventures, lending money at interest, and engaging in speculative activities. The Renaissance, with its emphasis on individualism and innovation, further stimulated economic activity and laid the groundwork for capitalist practices. The Industrial Revolution, birth of modern capitalism. The Industrial Revolution, beginning in the late 18th century, marked a profound transformation in the capitalist system. It brought about a shift from agrarian economies to industrialized ones, driven by technological advancements and changes in production methods. Technological innovations. The advent of new technologies, such as the steam engine, spinning jenny, and power loom, revolutionized manufacturing. Factories sprang up, concentrating production in centralized locations and increasing efficiency. This shift led to the rise of the factory system, where workers, often under harsh conditions, produced goods on a scale previously unimaginable. Capital accumulation and investment. The Industrial Revolution also saw the rise of capitalist entrepreneurs who invested in these new technologies and factories. Figures like James Watt, Richard Arkwright, and Andrew Carnegie became emblematic of this era. Their investments not only spurred economic growth but also led to significant wealth accumulation, creating a new industrial bourgeoisie. Labor and social changes. The rapid industrialization brought about profound social changes. Urbanization accelerated as people flocked to cities in search of work. The working class, or proletariat, emerged as a distinct social group, often facing exploitation and poor living conditions. This period also witnessed the rise of labor unions and social movements advocating for workers' rights, which would later influence the development of capitalism. The rise of laissez-faire capitalism. In the 19th century, the principles of laissez-faire capitalism gained prominence. Advocated by classical economists like Adam Smith, David Ricardo, and John Stuart Mill, this ideology emphasized minimal government intervention in the economy. It championed the idea that free markets, driven by competition and self-interest, would lead to efficient allocation of resources and overall prosperity. Adam Smith and the Invisible Hand. Adam Smith's seminal work, The Wealth of Nations, published in 1776, laid the intellectual foundation for laissez-faire capitalism. Smith argued that individuals pursuing their self-interest inadvertently contributed to the common good through the invisible hand of the market. He advocated for free trade, competition, and limited government interference, believing that these elements would foster economic growth and innovation. Expansion of free markets. Throughout the 19th century, the principles of laissez-faire capitalism influenced economic policies in many Western nations. Tariffs were reduced, and trade barriers were dismantled, leading to the expansion of international trade. The gold standard was adopted to stabilize currencies and facilitate global commerce. Social and economic inequalities. While laissez-faire capitalism spurred economic growth, it also exacerbated social and economic inequalities. The concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few industrialists led to growing disparities between the rich and the poor. This period witnessed the rise of monopolies and trusts, prompting concerns about the abuse of economic power. The response to capitalist inequities, socialism and reform. The inequalities and exploitation associated with early capitalism gave rise to various critiques and alternative economic models. Socialism emerged as a significant ideological response, advocating for collective ownership of the means of production and wealth redistribution. Karl Marx and Marxist theory. Karl Marx, one of the most influential critics of capitalism, argued that the system inherently led to class struggle and exploitation. In Das Kapital and The Communist Manifesto, Marx and Friedrich Engels analyzed the dynamics of capitalist economies and predicted their eventual collapse. Marxist theory called for the proletariat to overthrow the bourgeoisie and establish a classless, socialist society. Social reforms and welfare state. In response to the social challenges posed by capitalism, many Western nations implemented reforms to mitigate its negative effects. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the introduction of labor laws, social security systems, and progressive taxation. The welfare state, exemplified by policies in countries like Germany under Otto von Bismarck and later the New Deal in the United States, aimed to provide a safety net for the vulnerable and reduce economic inequalities. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to support this channel. Please share across social media platforms to reach a wider audience. The 20th century, the age of mixed economies. The 20th century witnessed the rise of mixed economies, combining elements of capitalism and socialism. Governments played a more active role in regulating markets, providing social services, and managing economic stability. The Great Depression and Keynesian economics. The Great Depression of the 1930s was a pivotal moment in the evolution of capitalism. The economic collapse and widespread unemployment challenged the laissez-faire principles. Economist John Maynard Keynes proposed a new approach, advocating for government intervention to manage economic cycles and stimulate demand. Keynesian economics influenced policies such as the New Deal in the United States, which aimed to revive the economy through public works and social programs. Post-war economic boom. The post-World War II era witnessed unprecedented economic growth and prosperity in many Western nations. The Marshall Plan, aimed at rebuilding war-torn Europe, facilitated economic recovery and integration. The Bretton Woods system established international financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank, promoting global economic stability and cooperation. The late 20th century, neoliberalism and globalization. From the late 20th century onwards, capitalism underwent further transformation with the rise of neoliberalism and globalization. These trends reshaped the global economy, influencing trade, investment, and economic policies. Neoliberalism. Neoliberalism, associated with leaders like Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, emphasized deregulation, privatization, and free market principles. Governments reduced their involvement in the economy, rolling back welfare programs and cutting taxes. Neoliberal policies aimed to enhance efficiency, innovation, and economic growth. Globalization. Advancements in technology, transportation, and communication facilitated the globalization of trade and finance. Multinational corporations expanded their operations across borders, seeking new markets and cheaper labor. The global supply chain became more interconnected, leading to the outsourcing of manufacturing to developing countries. This era saw the rise of emerging economies, such as China and India, as major players in the global market. Financialization. Another significant trend was the financialization of the economy. Financial markets and institutions gained prominence, influencing economic activities and policies. The deregulation of financial markets in the 1980s and 1990s led to the growth of complex financial instruments and increased speculation. While financialization contributed to economic growth, it also introduced new risks, culminating in the 2008 global financial crisis. The 21st century, challenges and future directions. As capitalism continues to evolve in the 21st century, it faces numerous challenges and opportunities. Globalization, technological advancements, and environmental concerns shape the current landscape, prompting debates about the future of capitalism. Technological disruption. The digital revolution and automation are transforming industries and labor markets. Artificial intelligence, robotics, and big data are reshaping production processes, leading to both increased efficiency and concerns about job displacement. The rise of the gig economy and platform capitalism has created new forms of work and income generation, challenging traditional employment models. Inequality and social justice. Economic inequality remains a pressing issue in the modern capitalist system. The concentration of wealth among the top echelons of society contrasts sharply with the struggles of the working and middle classes. Movements advocating for social justice, fair wages, and inclusive growth are gaining momentum, calling for policies to address disparities and promote economic mobility. Environmental sustainability. The environmental impact of capitalism, particularly in terms of resource consumption and pollution, has become a critical concern. Climate change, deforestation, and loss of biodiversity threaten the planet's ecosystems and human well-being. Sustainable development and green capitalism aim to reconcile economic growth with environmental preservation, promoting renewable energy, circular economy practices, and corporate social responsibility. Global governance and regulation. The global nature of the modern economy necessitates effective international governance and regulation. Organizations like the United Nations, World Trade Organization, and IMF play crucial roles in shaping economic policies and addressing global challenges. However, tensions between national sovereignty and global cooperation often complicate efforts to manage economic and social issues. The evolution of capitalism from its early roots to the modern global economy is a complex and dynamic process. From the mercantilist and proto-capitalist practices of the early modern period to the Industrial Revolution, laissez-faire capitalism, and the rise of mixed economies, capitalism has continually adapted to changing circumstances. The late 20th century's neoliberalism and globalization further transformed the system, bringing both opportunities and challenges. As we navigate the 21st century, the future of capitalism will be shaped by technological innovation, social and economic inequalities, environmental sustainability, and global governance. Understanding the historical development of capitalism provides valuable insights into its current dynamics and future trajectories, highlighting the need for adaptive and inclusive approaches to ensure its continued relevance and sustainability in an ever-changing world. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to our channel for more self-improvement videos. Comment below to tell us how useful you found this video. Remember to share on various social media platforms to reach a wider audience. Click the notification bell to get notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.